Good morning. How is everyone? There's no one here. I have a feeling everyone's out of electricity. I myself am too. So I'm at my mom's house right now. So I'm just recording for you. We're going to be making our rooster. I know I sent you guys a picture of it. So we're just going to get started. And I'm going to work a little bit faster in this video than I normally would since you're all going to be watching it from home. It just makes sense. This way you could just pause. So it's only going to be maybe a 40-minute video, whereas our class is usually an hour and a half. Allow yourself to take an hour and a half to do this. Okay, so don't rush. All right? So when you watch, just go back, do lots of back and forth, lots of rewinding. So this way you can catch up. All right? And please make sure that you send me pictures of your finished projects once you're done. You don't have to do it today. Do it whenever you can. I know you may not have electricity. We just had a storm last night. So whenever you get to it. All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and pin my screen. So this is just my palette paper. I have this dark color on here. Looks like black. It's actually called Payne's Gray. It's really the same thing. What we're going to do is paint our entire piece of paper with this Payne's Gray. Okay, so we're starting differently than we normally would. So I'm going to switch this out and put my picture here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip my picture just so that I can't move. I do hope you guys get your art time in today. Pretty stressful day. I'm sure everyone could use some relaxation. So if you go to your auntie's house who has power, go ahead and do this while you're there with whatever supplies you have. Oh, one thing I need is just some water. Hang on, I'll be right back. I always realize that I forget something. Okay, here I am. So this is just my palette paper. I clipped my regular paper down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip in my water with my brush, and I'm gonna make my Payne's Gray a little bit looser, a little bit more fluid. So a little bit of water goes a long way. What I'm gonna do is work with strokes. You can do this however you like. Goal here is just to cover your entire page. So I'm covering my whole page with black. Just take your time here. If you're at home, well, you are at home, wherever you are, grab a hair dryer for the next step, for when you're done with this. So you don't have to grab it this second, but just have that in your head. You're gonna want it, a hair dryer. This way we can quickly make our black dry. So usually we would have a white background. Today we're working with a black background. So all the colors that we're going to be painting, we're going to be painting them on the black background. So it's going to come out a little different than normal. Now my color is coming out a bit translucent. I'm probably going to do a second coat. And I think I'll do that second coat in the other direction. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So that's my first coat. I like to let it dry a little. I'm just gonna kind of fan it dry. This is the part where you could use your hair dryer. If I go and start painting my second coat on it while it's still wet, what I'll actually be doing is just moving around the paint that's already on here. It's gonna not do very much. So it's better if this is dry first. So I'm just drying it down. Just giving it the dry down. So it looks very streaky. That's because it's very translucent right now. That's why we're going to be doing a second coat. We don't want it to look streaky. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more paint on my palette. So you want it nice and opaque. So you'll do as many coats as you need to until you're able to get that opaque kind of look. Okay. I'm ready to do my next coat. Just again, I added a little bit of water and I'm just doing mixy, mix, mix. And this time I'm going the other direction. See what I mean now? This is gonna really ensure great coverage. Just do it a little at a time. I'm working a lot faster than you're probably working. And you don't need to work fast. You work at your own pace. A little different than our regular live classes because I'm not breaking and waiting for people to catch up. So that's why it's gonna move faster. So again, please use your rewind, fast forward, whatever you need to do to keep up, stay along, and do your very, very, very best. And I always say the slowest person in art wins the race. Baby Maya's up. She says hello. It's been a hectic morning. So I'm just going in that opposite direction. I may even choose to do another coat. It's very important that you really cover everything. So if that means doing a third coat, it means doing a third coat, that's all. It's not about rushing. It's not about being the first to be finished. You just take your time. Uh-oh, Maya. I'm doing something a little crazy here. I'm going to paint directly on my page. See what I did? So I'm just finishing up. So now I have to let this dry before I can move on. And I'm gonna go address Miss Maya's needs really quick. Be right back. So we're letting this dry. Okay, I'm back. So as I'm looking around my page, I'll show you what it looks like now. Looks better than it did before. There's a couple of clumpy areas, and there's a couple areas that are too thin. And I'm able to see them really well when I hold the camera like this, and I'm sure you can too. So this is the part where I'm just kind of moving around the paint that's on my page. Because again, some areas are too clumpy anyway, so we can go and smooth those out and bring them to areas that need more. Kind of like Robin Hood. You're stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. Okay, and it does seem like We're doing a great job. I need a little bit more though. I'm gonna just directly apply it right on here. And this might take a day to dry, so I think I am gonna grab a hair dryer. So again, I'm just smoothing out, getting any area that needs a little bit of extra special love. There's quite a few of those areas around. It's looking really good. I'm gonna go grab my hair dryer. Be right back. All right, I could not find a hair dryer. I'm at my mom's house. Apparently she doesn't use a hair dryer. So the things I forgot to bring with me when I was rushing over here. Because again, I didn't have power in my own house this morning. It's kind of a crazy, hectic morning. But we are here. She made it. Okay, just sitting here doing this then. So this might be you also. So you just want everything to dry. But this is definitely where a hair dryer would come in great. And again, you could just speed through this part. If you're at home and you used your hair dryer already, just go ahead, fast forward. I want to wait till this is a lot drier though before I attempt to start painting on here. I'm gonna look around my mom's house and see if I can find something. I'll be right back. Really don't see anything. That's not good. Could be here a while. Again, feel free to use your fast forward button. So you know what we could do in the meantime? We can start setting up our palette with all the colors we need. So I'm gonna just start to move some things. I'm gonna put this picture to the side for a minute. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and start putting out my colors. We're gonna need some red and some white and yellow. And we'll need some black or the Payne's gray like I was using. Payne's gray is light black. Okay, got some white, and I just need some yellow. This is going to be definitely a very fun painting today. Maya says hi. Just looking to see if there's any other colors I need, and I don't. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side for a moment. I'm gonna bring my paper back up here. Okay, again, same situation where I'm still trying to make it dry on time. So you can see it's still pretty wet. It would be foolish of me to work with it this wet. So I'm just fanning it. When yours starts to dry, doesn't have to be totally dry. It could still be a little tacky. You could still work on it. You don't want it to be as wet as this. What you could do is just use your finger, do like the finger test. This still needs a minute. So ordinarily, and this could be you too, you might do something. You might just do this part, turn this off, come back to the video in an hour. You could do that. You can do things on your own time, especially since we're just working with the video this week. Show you what it looks like from above. Okay. Getting pretty close. Take another minute. Again, it was a really hectic morning, and I'm not teaching from my regular space. I usually would have all the materials I need, but I was rushing out of the house, trying to get my big one to her gymnastics. Also, a lot. Okay, and that's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna try to bring my picture in the whole picture here. Okay, I'm just gonna do this one step at a time. All right, so you're gonna want your different size brushes. You're gonna want one that's like a medium, okay? You're gonna want one that's real thin. I think just those two is just fine, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this step by step with you. I'm actually gonna hold my tripod. I think that'll work out better. Yeah. So I'm just holding it above, and I'm just moving my computer so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so with my medium brush, I'm gonna dip in my straight red here. You don't need to do any color mixing. Okay, and I'll show you how large we're working. So really, really watch what I do first. Again, I'm using my medium brush here. I didn't draw anything out. So just kind of follow along with me. Get that. There's not really, but a little tiny bit of space in between these. So we're definitely working in a different way this week. I like showing you guys different techniques. There's many, many, many ways to paint, and they're all correct. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna leave a little space. That's where the nose is gonna be. Kind of, it should make like a triangle. Okay, now, kind of make like a spike. See that? It's cool if you work thick too. See how nice and thick? So a completely different method. So that's where I'm at so far. In the picture, this one on the right is I don't know what this is called, but this one on the right is a little longer. So I'm just basically following the picture. Although you can do things the way you like. You never have to do things the same way as me. You always have freedom in my class. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my other brush that I have available here. And I'm gonna paint in the nose. The beak, I should say. You might wanna wait until other parts are dry or use your little hair dryer in between, especially if you have a hair dryer. I'm gonna use my real thin brush now. There's gonna be parts that we kind of come back to towards the end of the painting after things have dried. Okay, now I have my paper towel here. I always wanna make sure I'm working with a real clean brush. It's important. Dip in my white with my little tiny brush here. Gonna add some highlights while it's still wet. Just added a little white into his nose. Or, yeah, his nose. Because it's a rooster, it has to be a boy. So I was gonna say his or her, that's usually what I would say. But it's definitely he. A little highlight in there. Now my color just mixed in on my palette a little bit. No big deal. We are working while this is very thick and wet. If your paint is thick as you're putting it down, then you're doing this right. It should be pretty thick. Adding some highlights around. I might go back and add more later. Okay, that looks good for now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm cleaning off my big brush here. Getting all the red paint out of it. There's the computer, there's our picture that we're working with. There's me like 100 times. It's one of those pictures where you can look into it 500 times to infinity, right? Okay, I'm still trying to brush to get everything off my brush. You know what, I'm just gonna put this down. I could do a better job if I'm actually holding all this. So. Okay, everything's out of my brush. I take some white over here. I just added a little water with it to make it more fluid. My water's very dark red. Okay, this is a fun part. Hopefully the whole thing's fun. I always say that, but I mean it. I do hope you guys have fun in my classes. It means a lot to me. Sorry, I just realized I wasn't holding the camera very well. So if you haven't started painting anything yet, remember that we're painting really large today. This is a completely different way of painting. So you might want to just remember how large we're working before you really get started. So just for scale, just to show you, it's really taking up my whole picture. So if you see a little bit of black in between, that's what you're supposed to see. I'll show you again our real picture. You can really, really see all the strokes. We want that. So I know I'm working really fast. Please work at your own pace. I know I say that a lot. I feel like I need to remind you guys. It's not a race. It's not a competition. Now I'm coming up over here. A little bit of red dot in there. that might happen to you too. It's not a big deal. This picture in general is extremely painterly. We learned about that word last week, the week before. It's okay if your colors mix a little. It's a different way of working. And it's probably something you've never come across before this, I would imagine. People usually learn these kind of techniques when they're older, not when they're as young as you guys. So in school, you're probably not learning these techniques yet. So it might feel wrong, but it's not. So I'm just kind of fluffing up his feathers a little bit. Right now, he looks like a dog. In a second, I'm just gonna pause and check in on my little friend here. Maya needs me. Hang on. All right, so I'm back. What I'm gonna do is put out a little bit of Payne's Gray again. I'm gonna use a little bit more coming up. So I just put some out there. So this is definitely a more spontaneous and less planned way of painting. But I thought you guys would enjoy this, and I really hope you do. All right, so coming back to this part here. Okay, just kind of redefine that line. And there are some actual black strokes in this painting in this part. This is creating the shadows. So just maybe watch first. So just going around, adding highlight. So that's what this is doing. It's just adding highlight. A little along the nose, a little over here. Okay. So I'm actually going to come back to my red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some spikes over here. Not spikes, it's his hair, his feathers. Forgive me because I'm not the best with bird anatomy. Show you where I'm at so far. Okay. And it's cool if this comes out really thick. It might take a day to dry. In fact, it's a beautiful day out. Or whenever you do this video, if it's nice outside, just leave it outside for the afternoon, forget about it for a few hours. And when you come back, probably gonna be dry. Okay, I'm just looking back here. And just kind of adding a little definition to some of these parts. So that's where I'm at so far. I'm going to be making his eyes really soon. So right now he kind of looks like a dog. He doesn't even look like a bird. He will in a second. That's okay, I can laugh at myself. Okay, here I am in my black again. Just looking, making sure no one's actually in the waiting room or anything. So for the eye, sorry, I know I'm like upside down. I just realized my camera's doing funny things right now. There I am. You know what? I'm actually going to put out more of my Payne's Gray. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. 1 second. Keep needing more. I think it might have to do with the quality of my paints. They're not the best quality. That's why I seem to need more all the time. That's okay. Well, we're just learning, so we don't need the best quality paints. Save those for professionals, right? Okay, here's my medium brush. Coming back. Just redoing my eye here. Okay. Got my other eye. I'm gonna do him. They're very thick. This is something I'm gonna come back to also. Okay, I just want to show you, I realized I made his face too wide. I'm gonna remedy that. It means I'm gonna fix it. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna go right into my background. This is a very painterly picture. It's okay if there's thick strokes like this all over. You know, I just fix that up. Every artist is gonna have mistakes from time to time. I'll say it again. Every artist will have mistakes from time to time. Almost never are they a big deal. They're little deals. So don't let them ruin your day. I for sure have had lots of mistakes in all of my projects over the years. That's how you get better. You need to put in that time. You need to have that time where you're making a lot of mistakes. As you get older and more experienced, you'll make fewer mistakes. You'll still make mistakes. And this goes for everything in the world. You definitely will still make mistakes, but you'll make fewer. That's all. There's no perfect people. There's no perfect painters. Yeah, so his face is actually narrower than I had made it. Okay, getting there. Dipping back in my black again. Now his eyes are not defined yet. I didn't add any defining colors to him yet, so it doesn't probably look like anything. I'm gonna do something really crazy. Watch what I'm gonna do. I keep needing more of my Payne's Gray. Actually putting it right on the page because I'm working so thick with it, it just makes sense. I like that better. Okay, it's definitely getting where I want it. This cheek comes out a little wide. It's gonna narrow that up a little bit. Okay, so I have this big clump on my page of the black paint, or it's actually Payne's Gray. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start defining the feathers. I'm actually dipping into the pile that's on my paper. I call this cutting in. So I'm cutting into what was already there. This is one technique. And I'm gonna go back in with my white paint also. It'll be a combination of cutting in and going back in with my white. So just stick with me. I'll show you everything. And this cool blendy thing is kind of happening around the rooster's head. So that's nice. So I'm going to add a little bit of black also into this area up here, doing that same cutting in technique. And this is how I can help it look more feathery. So just directly going right into it, kind of haphazardly. We really haven't planned this much. A little different than how we normally work. And I know sometimes it's scary to try new things. This could be your style though. This could be the way that you enjoy painting. And if it's what you enjoy, you should do it. That's what I say. So in this course, I hope I'm helping you also find your own artistic voice. Sorry, I just realized I'm off the page. Here I am. Because I'm holding my camera here. So I'm dipping straight from the pile of black that's on my page. I hope you guys all get your power back really soon, myself included. Okay, so I'm just kind of going around, cutting in the different areas around the feathers. Maya really wants to be part of our group this morning. Okay, so I still have a lot of black on the page. Using my other brush here, I'm gonna smooth all this out. Pretty much done with my black. So I'm just adding it into my background. And watch what I'm doing. I'm just kind of smoothing it out. So never judge your painting before it's totally finished. Because if you would have judged it a minute ago, you would have said, oh, I don't like how it's going. But then if you look at it later, you say, wow, I love how that came out. So you have to trust the process sometimes. And that can be challenging. But definitely try. And just trust your own process. A little bit of my white got into the background. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. That's actually what happens in the real painting too. I'll show you the real painting really quick so you can see. So if you look closely, there are areas where you can see a bit of the white. So I like that, and I'm adopting that around my picture. So I'm just smoothing out any choppy areas. And I'm going to be finishing the eyes in a minute. A couple little areas to still finish. Here we go. I'll just remind you guys again, we have our fall schedule up. It's all online right on our website, www.studioeartclass.com. We have plenty of in-studio classes. I'm not sure if we're going to do the virtual thing for fall. I'm thinking about it. I'm keeping it on the back burner for now, but we might come back to that. We'll see. I hope we can do mostly in studio. And I'd love to see you guys there. I'm going to be teaching a few classes myself. And you should also look at all the safety precautions we've taken, because there's many. We're doing a lot more than many places are doing. Not to compare, but we really we take safety so seriously. So just so you know, it's our highest priority. And if you haven't seen our new space yet, it came out gorgeous. It's really big. It's 2 classrooms, brand new. It was all just built. We have every single brand new safety feature in there, fire alarms, every little thing you can think of. We have alarms on the door as well. We have the ring system, high ceilings, brand new air conditioning, central air, I should say. All right, it's really coming along. A few areas that I just want to fix up. Okay, I'm just fixing up. This is a part where my little perfectionist side tends to come out. This is a lot of cutting in that's happening. Okay, looking good. All right, here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to come back to the eyes. I'm going to use my real thin brush. The eyes need some work. So the shape of the eyes need work. So I'm coming in with some white over here. Just follow along. This is one of those areas where probably you're going to need to rewind and look at it a few times. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my brush and just go whoop, just like that. So I made the top of the eye a little bit flat. Oh, it looks like a little bit mean. I don't want it to look mean. And a little bit of white over there. So I'm just redefining the shape of the eyes. This is a very playful part over here. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm just adding white right now. So I'm just trying to get the shape of the eye better. Maya's so happy to have me to herself right now, even though she still has to share me. Because it's all about the big sister at home. She says, it's my time. So I'm coming back up here. Sometimes I tend to work around my page. And I'm just redefining some of the feathers in this upper portion here. So I'm doing this with the white right now. Allow yourself to just be playful. Try not to take it too seriously. That's where we get in trouble. Okay, it's starting to look better. Definitely better. Okay. You know, I keep going off the page. I do apologize. Okay, I'm just adding little highlights where I see that they need to go. And again, I'm working off of a picture online. And my little guy still looks a little mean. I don't want him to look mean. Not my intention. I'm gonna put a little dot. I don't know if that helped. Okay. You have to be able to laugh at yourself a little bit sometimes. Okay, a little better. Does it still need work? Uh-huh. It does. I'm not afraid to admit it. Put a little bit of yellow on the side there. And some theme on the other side. Okay, it's starting to come a little bit together. Trying to think of how I can make the eyes friendlier. What can I do? So I'm just kind of trying things. Hang on 1 second. I'm just gonna see what my little Maya Bell needs. Sorry, I'm trying to position this. And what is going on? Sorry guys, my camera. Oof. If it's not this, it's something else. Isn't that just the way it is? Whoops. Hang on. Oh no, I lost my thing here. Here we are. Okay. Oh no. Sorry guys. What is it, Ryan? Okay, we're really getting there. All right, so to me, now it's something that I need to fix up in the red portion. So to me, in our actual picture, they're just a little bit more together, and mine are kind of far apart. So I'm gonna conjoin them a little bit. Just use my brush. I just realized you probably didn't see what I just did because I wasn't pointing at it. I apologize. Okay, so I see a few more little areas that I want to work on, but we're really getting there. Okay, just going in my black. There's a bit of highlight underneath over here. Highlight, I should say shadow, not highlight. Opposite of highlight. So I'm using like more like a medium brush right here. I'm just kind of going in and putting a little bit of black around. What it's doing is it's highlighting the feathers. Okay. And I am going to put out a little bit more Payne's gray or black. Big surprise there. Also, camera fell down. Big surprise there as well. I think that's like the issue I have in every class. My tripod's not the best. It's a little on the junky side. That'll be a little investment that I'll make maybe in my next series. Get a better tripod. But you live and learn, don't you? Okay. Well, looking at my picture, I think it's really getting into a good place. Okay. I'm just looking back at the eyes one more time. So just feel like there's a couple little improvements I might want to make. This eye, sorry, I know my hand's in the way. This eye is a little longer than I had it. Still doesn't look very happy. kind of got these like eyelashes. All right, you know what? It's pretty good. I think I might just leave it there. And I'm just going in, adding last highlights. Otherwise, we're pretty good now. All right, you guys. So I think we are going to call it a day. The only other thing I might do before I turn off my camera is I might just add a little bit more white to a couple areas. Sometimes you kind of border on overworking things, which is also something you don't want to do. It's a hard job sometimes to know when your picture is actually done. Just kind of fixing up some of these feathers. Right now he looks like a punk rocker rooster. Punk rock rooster. Hey, if you like him as a punk rock rooster, he can just stay. You don't have to do anything. Or you can play. This could be another area to kind of play around. And I think one other thing I should do is maybe just extend some of the red. I'll show you what I mean. And I really am going to turn this off in 5 seconds. I'm just adding a little more red. Sorry, I know it's not pointing at anything. There we are. Just went in with like some straight red. Yeah, I think this is what was throwing me off. Is that there's just a little bit more hair up here. All right, guys. Calling it a day right now. All right. So next week, same time, same place. Hopefully we won't have any other storms and we'll all be here. The class is at 10:30, so 10:30 to noon. And I'll see you then. Okay, bye guys. I'm still here. Trying to end the meeting. Okay, I'm pausing.